Good day guys, today we are looking at the second generation Toyota Innova. This particular vehicle is a 2016 G variant with a manual transmission, meaning it is only a variant lower than the highest spec V Innova. If you've been wondering, Toyota calls this color the Alumina Jade Metallic, and if I'm not mistaken, this color is only available for the G variant. A brand new 2019 G model retails at around 1,451,000 pesos for the 5-speed manual transmission model and 1,521,000 pesos for the 6-speed automatic. Now, you can opt out for a more budget-friendly Innova and choose the lowest spec J variant for around 1 million to 1.2 million pesos depending on the transmission and the engine type. However, you may miss out on the more premium features that the higher-end models offer, such as the 16-inch alloy wheels and the improved interior. It is important to note that this vehicle had some slight cosmetic modifications such as the door guards, light guards, and the trunk bed. So please neglect these as they were aftermarket acquisitions and are not included if you are to buy one brand new. Nonetheless, I think these are very subtle modifications and that this is not too far from the original look. Powering this vehicle is Toyota's 1GD straight-4 common rail diesel engine with a variable nozzle turbocharger, a chain drive, and an intercooler. It has 16 valves with dual overhead camshafts that produces a maximum output of 167 horsepower and 343 Newton meters of torque. I think this is enough power for the Philippine roads and some occasional spirited driving. Most of the 0 to 100 acceleration tests are at around the late 9s to early 10 seconds depending on the driving conditions and the driver capabilities. The vehicle is supported by an independent coil spring double wishbone with a stabilizer suspension. This setup is aimed for a smoother, harshness ride rather than a sportier one. Upon tackling sharp corners, you can definitely feel a lot of body roll in the cabin. However, the upside of this kind of setup is its inclination towards absorbing bumps and road imperfections. In my opinion, the Innova is best suited for cruising through the highway. In terms of driving versatility, it has an approximate of 190mm of ground clearance, which is more than enough for some occasional harsh terrains and road imperfections. You won't be too concerned about your under chassis hitting unwanted road obstacles as compared to regular sedans. In case you were wondering, attached to these 16-inch alloy wheels are 205 65 R16 Yokohama tires. These economy spec tires help achieve relatively good fuel economy. Speaking about fuel economy, after driving this for 3 years, it averages at about 11.3 kilometers per liter, mixed city and highway driving. I think these are relatively good numbers considering the size of the vehicle and the engine. Upon entering the vehicle and sitting in the driver's seat, you are welcomed with a sweeping kind of luxury dashboard with amenities you could see from most modern vehicles at this price point. The gauge cluster is simple yet intuitive as it displays all of the necessary information the driver needs. The steering wheel button setup is laid out nicely and has a tactile feel. It has controls for the gauge cluster, the multimedia, and sometimes for receiving and ending calls. It also has a telescopic mechanism for finding the optimum driving position. At the center of the dash, we have a 7-inch touchscreen monitor with Bluetooth, navigation, radio, and more. It is quite responsive, however, sometimes it takes quite a while to boot up. Also, the navigation is quite outdated, so I prefer using Waze instead. Nonetheless, it is relatively good for its purpose. I'm 5'11" and I still have an ample amount of legroom behind the driver's seat, which is adjusted to my preferred driving position. Width-wise, I think it is easy to fit 3 of me in here comfortably. For long drives, however, it is best if 2 sat here with the armrests down. It even has 2 cup holders. The seats are reclinable and can be adjusted for more or less legroom. Press the reclining lever all the way and you are free to move into the third row. The third row is best suited for children, people under 5 foot, or people without legs. Good thing though, we have cup holders, headrests, air conditioning vents, and reclinable seats. The biggest negative I can see from the Innova is the cargo space layout. Here is what it looks like if all of the seats were folded. Hauling items can be problematic due to this huge slope found in between the third row and the second row seats. Personally, I prefer a flat surface for hauling items, and the way these third row seats fold doesn't help at all. For the overall verdict, I can recommend the Toyota Innova if you are looking for a spacious 7-seater that has a comfortable suspension and an ample amount of power. However, after driving this for 3 years, I feel like the 6-speed automatic version is best for most people. The shifter of this manual transmission model has very long throws and the pedal placement is not optimal for heel-toe rev matching. In addition, it is really crying for a 6th gear as it gets really loud past the 140 km an hour mark point. This car is definitely for comfortable riding and driving and is not for pure driving satisfaction, so it is better to stick with the automatic unless you're a stick shift purist like me. If you like this review, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel because I am planning to produce more content like these. This is my first ever YouTube content, so please comment down below if you have any suggestions or requests for my future content. Thank you.